Ready to go live. We are live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the party here. It's the Eunice Day. Today we have rebirth this season of Soul Chats, and Sarah was so kind to say, "All right, I'll be the one to go first," because she loves me. We're just going to give a minute or two for everybody to hop on, and then we'll get started. For those of you who this is the first time for Soul Chat, we do these. We'll be doing these bi-monthly for about a season. We go from about August or so. This is like technically August, right? Like July now, and pretty much out towards April, depending on how it flows. We do about 2 a month. They're going to be held on Thursdays. We'll be doing the live version and then the recorded, so you can go access it. You can catch it here on the YouTube channel, so United States YouTube channel, also the Soul Tribe group, and then, of course, our public group, the Global. So you can kind of watch it from wherever you want. You can always catch them live. You can catch them recorded. They're going to be on the YouTube channel, and hopefully our YouTube channel doesn't disappear again. But it'll be great. Then we'll just do more Soul Chats like we never did them before. How are you, my friend?
I am good. I am good.
Good. I just want to give everyone a minute. I know we've been kind of planning this for a while, and it was the right time, and we said 2 o'clock, and here we go. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. If you're here, please say hello. Otherwise, we won't know, and we'll just chat with ourselves, which is so fine.
I still won't know because I
Yeah,
don't have comments.
I'll be the reader. Got people. Hi, thank you so much. We are in StreamYard, so if you're like super hidden like Sarah and StreamYard refuses to allow her to use your name, just sign your name at the end if it says Facebook user. Otherwise, you have to go up out of the chat for just a minute and just let them use sign your soul away. Or you can pop over to our YouTube channel and watch live from there, which is a really great choice too if you want. It takes a couple minutes for everybody to get on. So today we've got Sarah. Sarah has been one of our dearest soul sisters, my dearest soul sister. I don't even for if I mean obviously through lifetimes, but one of the very first in our circle to really in our community to say yes and to stand and to do the work and to like come forward and to be out there and to support us everywhere all the time. She is so much of the reason that we are here today as a community. She works in the shadows almost away with how quiet she is and with her work and how with so much humility and unassuming,ness and true connection to source and God and all that there is. She's she's an incredible healer. I've worked with her personally in real life too, which is so beautiful. We were able to meet this year, which was incredible. For those of you who don't know Sarah very well yet, she resides in the North Mid. What do we call that? The North Mid, just Northern United States, Michigan.
Yeah, I live in the mid.
So she's here in the States with us. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. She's really one of the most powerful healers I've ever met. She's been spending so much time diligently working on bringing the dragons home, which we're going to get into. She's been working on healing the waters of the earth with others and herself, and we're going to get into that a little bit. She offers some incredible, like, I guess you could almost call it shamanic, but it's more than that because it's like the elementals and the angelics and the galactics and everything in between. It's like this whole source healing that's very deep and very powerful and really truly life changing. Sarah's heart is open and pure in that way, full of that never ending hope and love. And she has been such a driving force and our heartbeat of Pelicidity and Sainus Day and our community. And I'm just so, so grateful that she said yes to being the first one of the season. All right. So here are the rules, friends. Typically, I have an event set up and then you can ask questions beforehand, but it's been a wild ride. And Sarah, thankfully, is literally the most flexible person with me and knows that I live in the wild, feral animal stage sometimes. So if you are starting to have questions or is anything you want to know specifically, toss them in the chats. I will get them. I will ask Sarah and we'll get them answered. But typically what happens with the soul chat is we just kind of get into it. We flow with the flow. And you really get to know everyone in our community. You'll be seeing a lot of these. If you're interested in coming on and wanting to share yourself that way, that's so great. You don't have to wait for me to reach out. Please feel free to just email hello@pelucity.inlife.com or hello@sayunasay. I don't even know the emails anymore or whatever. DM the pages or the groups. You'll find us. Okay.
We're around.
We're around. We do stuff. Let's get into it. Miss Sarah, tell us, when was the moment you knew you were not a normal human? I love your origin story so much.
I always thought we were normal until 10. I thought because at a young age I was taught, not by human parents, not by human people, but I was taught that we were all one from the get-go. I was taught that anything I could do, everybody else could do. So from birth, I knew that I seen this world in the way that we should be seeing this world. It was 10 that I realized that not everybody was open enough to be my normal.
Yeah.
The first time that I actually realized it, I was with my father. And there is in Traverse City an old asylum building that they remodeled and turned into an apartment building now. And we rolled up and there was no cars there. And he told me that he used to work there and that it's been closed down. And that's when I realized it, because I was like, it's closed down? There's no people in it? Then who's that in that window and that in that window and that in that window? And, and that was my eye opener of, okay, well, if my dad can't see, then who? So I didn't go around life asking who.
Yeah.
I just went around life being me.
Love it. Okay, so you hit 10. You realize that maybe not everyone's knowing about that.
Yeah, not everyone's my normal.
is that kind of when you felt like this push or this moment of like really kind of stepping in and sharing this information, or did you, like, what happened after that?
I couldn't. When I signed on to this life, I had some very major curses upon me. I was not able to speak. There was no speaking my truth at 10. I didn't even speak English until I was like 5. I went through speech therapy, so no, I just moseyed along knowing that, whatever I did was meant to be, and that eventually the plan that was in motion would happen.
Incredible. Okay, so you're in motion, you're in the flow and true connection to source. And you're going through, and what were your teenage years like then for you? Did you feel like, did other people come into your life that were like-minded, or was it kind of more still in allowance and staying connected to source?
Still in allowance, still in connection. I had friends that would come and go. Because I never really belonged to a group, you know, like teenagers do. Because I still at teenage years I didn't understand categorizing.
Right.
So I just dressed how I dressed, and so I didn't fit in anywhere, because if I wanted to dress goth that morning, like if that's what was told for me to wear, I wore it. If, you know, if I felt like hippie-ish, I wore them clothes. So I really didn't fit in to anything, but there was a few people, because after my first home, I moved within 6 months to a year for most of my life. So I would usually be in a secluded area, and then somebody would find me, and then I would have a friend for that year and then move on. I got maybe a couple friends now that I know where they live, which I've had for a while, my teenage years,
Yeah.
but not very many.
Yeah.
I wasn't meant to stay in one place. I was always meant to move.
Yep. Yeah, I feel that so deeply with our travel. We're like little travelers. It's amazing. So you made it through your teenage years, right? I know this is like so amazing. Like you're just so graceful the way you did it. Okay. So you're hitting your 20s, you're kind of like going through, were you getting like what was that like for the spiritual part of you? And were you meeting more people and kind of getting into like when did you really start to like really tune into this beautiful light within inside of you and really feel the push to kind of start sharing it in that way?
Okay, so throughout my many years, I couldn't look in my eyes and see me. I could look in my eyes and see source, or I could see like the elements, or I could see the universe all within my eyes, but I could never see me. So I went through, I married, had kids, still just being me. Whenever I would travel, I would have my traveling altar, because I never knew when I needed anything. So I always had it by my side. Um, I went through a divorce, and that started like a few years before. That's when my dark night started, where I actually finally like really touched earth and crashed. Um, and I would say about 3 years ago, um, 3 years ago, I had my very first sisterhood.
Mm.
And that's when it all started. I I worked very hard to get out of that shadow, you know, that total darkness that I was in after crashing to earth. And then I met my sisterhood. I went into my shamanic journeying, and came out and actually looked in my eyes for the first time. And I saw me.
What was that like?
It was hard at first.
Yeah.
When you go, and I mean, just it was only a couple years, and I'm about 40, you know, I'm 40 some. So going my whole life without actually seeing me, and then poof, my eyes just lit up, and people started actually noticing me instead of me just blending in with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been, yeah, a little scary and exciting. And I just knew from this moment I I had to work a little more on me and not take that you're being selfish, because self-care is never selfish.
Right. That's so true.
And
Amazing.
then I say within a year of that, I met you.
I'll never forget that day, man. Like, cried. I'm fine. Even my husband was like, wow, you're really emotional today. And I was like, I met somebody. So it's just so amazing. You're just amazing. Okay, so we're here. We've got all this beautiful life. You're here. You come across the Unisa, and really, like, from that moment, and we were just really coming on. Like, we were just birthing ourselves too. So here comes this, you guys, this beautiful queen walks in, and she just like holds the space for us. She's like, yep. I don't know if you can see behind her, she's got her tethering. She was one of our very first, like in the first group of getting a personal tethering, all of them at once. And it was like, she was like, yeah, I'm into this 4.5 hour session. Like,
I'm like, how much?
yeah.
How much for all of them?
Yeah. And we were like, yeah, I mean, we could do it. Sure. I was like, let's just do it. And from that moment on, I remember you stepped out of your house and the clouds were like crazy. And I was like, I think those are dragon clouds. And literally, like, it was like almost like the next day, you're like, so these dragons, I have this dragon child, like, no, these dragons. So can you talk a little bit about your experience with meeting the dragons and all of that, and how that came to be, and what you're doing for that?
Well, I've always sky gazed. I've always looked at clouds, but they have never even appeared to me as dragons. Like I've had writing, like cursive writings in the clouds, and and then after that, they were so potent, and they wanted to be seen, and they wanted to be, they were kind of feeling like I was feeling, always in the shadows.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to be in the shadows no more. I mean, and I could understand. I had compassion for them. I could relate. So I wanted to, get them where they're supposed to be, in harmony. Like, before, we did live in harmony, and then greed, and you find out when humans find out, or when they used to find out, because we're migrating into a whole different world. When they used to find out of anything that was magical or anything that was considered special, they wanted it for themselves. It could have been anything from a stone to the blood of a dragon to this mysterious woman, to, like, greed would come, and and they would have to have, and a lot of people follow. They choose a leader and they follow, which we hear, like your one podcast. We don't have a leader. We are all leaders.
Yeah.
And if you want to follow us, you follow one person or another person to lead you down your journey somewhere. We don't stay and have an army or a cult or anything like that by following.
Right.
But so when they found out that the dragon blood was so special, they went on a massacre. And so they were forced to be in the shadows, kind of. And that's what I'm doing with the bringing the dragons home with Dina. Is we're bringing them so that more and more can know about their dragons and know about that part of who they are, because it is important. Our history, you know, it's not just our physical history, but it's our spiritual history. And to be whole for me is to have both sides, and both sides in harmony. You say that I'm so easygoing and that I'm just such a flow, because you have to be. If you can't dance, things will make you stumble. And then you lay down and then you just want to die.
Yeah. So accurate. Oh, yeah. Amazing. Yeah, though I think just the work that you're doing is amazing, because I mean, it's just so beautiful that it's as you're working, like you said, you're allowing the dragons to really connect more with their, with their people, which is just so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So much. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing. All right, so we're already getting questions in the comments, so I'm just going to start. I'm going to put them up so you can hopefully see them, and if not, you can too. And a little star thing, which is so fun. Okay, first question comes from Magpie Moonchild, who's chilling out on our YouTube channel. Thanks, Magpie. She says, where do you see your path going from this point? Ooh.
Okay. So right now I am majorly supporting other people at this moment. Like, I'm going to New York in September. I have here in Michigan. And physically, if you meet me physically, there's just, you will get what you need. And just to be in my presence, you'll get it. I don't have to do anything. And that's where my supporting is, when I'm starting the physical rounds. From an early age, I wanted to heal the mind, body, and soul. It was placed in me that is my desire. And so I see my path more and more heading that way. But I first have to travel and get there in person. I also know that because I have such deep roots with Gaia through my human DNA, that there's a lot of places in the lands that I need to travel. So
I know, it's like just adventure, right? Basically, we can adventure everywhere, and we're gonna meet up and have parties and heal things. It's gonna be so fun.
It is.
Thank you, Magpie Moonshot, for your question. We've got another question. We're gonna wrap back around to the dragons from Tinks, and Tinks is really curious about how you can connect more with the dragon. She's saying, occasionally when meditating, I have one that seems to appear, but he never seems to stay long enough. It's like a flash dragon. Hey.
They are funny.
Yeah.
Like, they really are funny. Now, when you come to mystical beings like the dragons and other beings like elementals, they connect with elements. If you believe that you have a water dragon, then call upon it while you're in the bath, or sticking your toes in the water, or, if it's more like a fire, then have a bonfire. I love bonfires. You can connect with a lot through a bonfire. And so connecting with the elements, but they're right now they're still like a shy kind of, they are, because we're bringing them back to where they're fully there. So they're very like soft spoken at this time. But that's what I'm working on. I'm working on so that when you see them, poof, they're there. You can hear their roar. You can feel their presence. They don't have to kind of like push you gently with their tail, or, or pop in, say hi, and disappear.
I love it. Do you think that maybe that would be helpful for people who are interested in connecting at a deeper level to join your ceremonies? Is that something that?
Oh yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that, like the ceremony itself and what that means? And because you hold them monthly, right? It's like the last Friday of the month. Is that true?
Normally.
Yes. Oh my God, I knew it.
But life.
Yeah, I know, right? Can you talk a little bit about that? And yeah.
It is an every month event. And I have 2 ladies that are with me. Okay, wonderful ladies. Okay, and we all play our part. And we go in and we open up the portal and we connect directly to them as we call them in. And then we connect our hearts to them so that we can beat as one. And then we do a sacred fire, and we put elements into it, and we embody all the energy of the dragon and what is around us at that moment. And it is definitely a good way to come more in contact with your dragon and dragon energy, because we call in all the dragons.
Oh my gosh, I just love that so much. Yeah, and the fact that you hold it on, like on the regular, on a monthly basis, as best as we can, right? Because nothing is real time in this flow, but it's nice to look forward to at least once a month getting together and having that. And it, and you're so right about how it also like just helps solidify the connection, because like I'm sure the dragons are just as excited, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They do. And you can definitely feel their excitement when it is going on. It's extremely powerful. So if you are interested, that would be a good way to enhance dragon energy within your, daily life.
I love it so much. Okay, dragons. We can always come back to dragons. Keep asking questions, you guys. We're here all day. Well, we're here for another 30 minutes. But can you talk a little bit about your elemental experiences, especially like around your property and everything, and what that's been like for you, kind of having how they're showing themselves, and tell some. Are you open to telling some of those stories today? Question mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys, this is so cool.
So my experience with the elementals have been from the get-go. As a little child, you go outside and you see this thing run across. And you're like, what in the world is that? And of course, you're curious, so you're going to follow them. One time, I followed them all the way up when I was 2, to the tippy top of a pine tree that was over 2 stories high. I mean,
That's just what you do.
right. They want to show you something, and it's like a little treasure when they do, come to show you something. My property, I have, well, I have a lot of tinkers on my property.
Can you explain what they are?
Yeah, my tinkers are like my fairies. They like to play around and tinker, but they're not inside my house. I refuse.
Yeah, crazy like you guys, like, come in, it's so fun. I know you were in my house and you were like, oh my god, and then you like shoo them all out of where you're sitting, and like everywhere they go, there he's like, outside, guys, she's coming outside.
But yes, they love your house for sure. Even when I visit you in that dream, and they were all excited for me to be there.
Yeah, I just love them. So you guys, you can make strict rules. You don't have to let them in the house, right?
Yeah, no, thank you. I got enough chaos in the house.
I'm like, oh no. Oh man, I love it.
No, that's the trick. In the house, you have to find peace.
Working on that, yeah.
Yeah.
Tinkers. Okay, so you got fays of tinkers. Are there any other kinds of tinkers that aren't fey in that way?
I have, but they stay outside my property line.
Mm-hmm.
I have. Hello.
Yes, kulturoshka. I feel them all coming in. Showcase me. Showcase me. How about me? Talk about me. For fun.
I'm trying to think of the ones that are considered the most scariest. Oh
yeah, I can't remember their name.
No, and I'm drawing a blank right now.
Okay, we'll come back to it.
But they always stay on the outside of my property.
Yeah, those giant rock people things. Because you've got rock people too, right? That show up sometimes.
I do.
I feel like you have everybody.
Orcs?
Yeah,
Orcs. Yeah. Yeah, but they're not on my property. They just stay around.
Yeah.
I know,
I love how you describe them too, because they're just kind of like shy a little bit, right? It's almost like they're trying to figure out how to grow up.
Yeah, I'm not, because they get such a bad rap, but even just Tinker Fairies can, get a bad rap. Yeah. But yeah. I don't.
And so your land is it's like, because you grow things on there and you have the chickens, and can you talk a little bit about what it's like in the 3D world and how you use your uniqueness and your spirituality because I know you do like a lot of blessings and with the land, and can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
How you roll on a normal day, because it's so cool.
Okay. Well, I do have like 5 kids. So I'm always open conversation with them about, the life here. Even though I shelter my kids physically, I don't mentally, I don't emotionally, I let them know exactly what's out there, but physically you can just stay with me and stay by me, and we'll experience this life together. And then when you're 18, like my oldest son, as soon as he got out of the house, he's all like, I'm going to New Orleans. Like, live it up, baby, live it up. You know what I mean? So, so they're along with this journey, and I've been finding new plants on my property this year that I'm just loving. Couple years it was mushrooms that started popping up, you know. Hello, Sarah's back.
Yeah.
Um, we've waited so long.
We are. I love it.
So, like, even taking and mowing my yard, which normally, I mean, I got a good sized yard, so push mower, it's about 7 hours to push mow.
Yeah.
And I'm stopping and making that 7, 8 hours because I'm like, oh, hey, baby plant. You would go really nice as a tincture. Would you mind?
Yeah, and I think that's something that I love so much that you do is you really connect with the plants themselves and ask them, right? Like that's it's such a, because everything is a sentient being and it's something that I just you do so well at your everyday, right? It's just so natural for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you grow up and you don't have like humans to talk to, you learn to talk to animals and plants and the wind, and and
Yeah.
that's where it originated from, that everything is energy and everything is part of us. And how would you like if you had somebody come up and rip just one hair out of your head?
Exactly. But I can agree to it. Yeah, take it. It's magical, I know.
Right.
I love that so much. Yeah, because you speak of like so many beautiful things that like you had a bush that just you found too, right? Recently?
Mulberry.
Yes. I just love that.
Yeah.
It is true. It does seem like they like missed you, right? And they're just coming back and getting settled in and
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time. So they're all excited.
yeah. I love it so much. Okay, I really want to get into like what you do for healing and kind of like how people could get in contact with you and like really start this. You guys, she's like this. So at the beginning of the year, Sarah came online a little bit, and we did a live or two and some healing and stuff. But like she said, those are seriously nothing like really. If you're close to her, you can get to her presence or find out where she is, go see her in person. But the online connection is great. And so, can you talk a little bit about like what you do and how it changes people and that kind of thing? Who you work with, just spill all your secrets here. It's good. It's a good time.
Well, I can pretty much do anything you ask. Anything near, like, say you don't know what you want, but you need something and you know it. I can do that. I can do.
It is true intuitive healing.
It is. It really is. And a lot of time you might ask for something and you need something else on top of it, or you need something before it, or and us as humans, as we're walking this earth, sometimes we don't know what we really need.
Right.
Excuse
And
me.
I think that's what's so beautiful about you because you're able to tap into source directly and just really tune into the nuances of like the web itself, right? And the contracts and all of that and the records. And you kind of like access it all at once, and you're just like, oh, and so you're not just giving like one remedy or one suggestion. You really are able to paint like an entire picture and really help people create movement within their lives. It's cool. It's super unique because it's not I feel like every session is totally different, right? There aren't really the structure in itself is that you tune into the individual soul right? And like, you guys, it's really cool, okay? Because it's such a gentle, beautiful experience, right? And like sometimes there's drumming and sometimes it's just talking like this, and all of a sudden it's like the whole universe rips open and you're like, there's this rift and what's going on over here? And, it's really wild. But what I have heard over and over again, the most consistent part of every testimonial, it's very, Sarah, you have this incredibility to like just tap in so uniquely and authentically, right? And you hold the space so beautifully. So instead, I'm going to talk about what you do because I love it so much. It's just so amazing. But yeah, you really can do everything, which is so nice, right? And I know when you were down here and hanging out for Find Your Path and really being in that, it was like so much. I mean, you could just feel your energy just like
It
absorb.
was very beautiful experience because it was more of that 3D, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You guys, Sarah really came to the Find Your Path to really just be like, okay, I'm going to sit through this as a student to see what the student feels like. So when I come and teach, I can talk about it. And we were like, oh my God, that's so brilliant. Our future Find Your Path event, Sarah's going to be teaching the beautiful Sarah-ness that she does. It's just incredible. I just love it. Does anybody have any questions? I can gab with Sarah all day, you guys. So we're really here. I'm here to share her with you all as an anchoring star, an intuitive healer, an empath, a walker of waters.
I got my medicine cabinet starting to fill up.
It's incredible. Yeah, really. And what I admire about you so much is you really do walk the talk. You really do constantly, every day, create a sanctuary in your own personal world, how you present yourself to the world and how you receive the world. Like you receive everyone with such a gentleness about you. It's amazing.
Yes, there's no point in hating anyone.
Yeah.
You know, because all somebody is that gets on your nerves is just somebody that needs a little extra help. You know, they may not know it, or they're not willing to do it, but that's their choice.
Mm-hmm.
But as our boundaries, we don't have to stand there.
You could scoot out of the way. Yeah. You guys, there's just something so eloquent about Sarah and what she does as a friend, as a mentor, as a guide, as any way that you can get into the Sarah system. I support you. There is this infinite loop of love and understanding and the ability for her to really, it's like you're so good at assessing like what's actually happening, and then you're able to like grasp it and then like put it out there just like you did right now in such a loving way. And it's so needed right now in this earth. Ooh, Tinks with the questions. I love it. Tinks is so good with questions. Here we go. Have you always been able to create space to do all of these wonderful things, or did you have a struggle blending the two, physical and spiritual? I think is what she's asking.
Actually, until a couple of years ago, I was very scattered. I actually had somebody work on me because I was so scattered that I didn't quite understand. Who was it? Rebecca Claire did a
Did you do an Akashic record study?
yeah, she did. She did a Akashic record, and it made me understand a little bit more because she's like, hey, listen, you have all these different souls that are connected to you. Oh, that might be why I'm scattered here and there and all there. And, so I only recently was able to focus on the one path and not the many paths. Which, if you go down one path and then you want to cut over to another path and you run through the shortcut through the woods, you're kind of missing some things.
That's so true.
So right now I am one path, and as I walk this path, I'll grab the fruits off the trees, and I'll get the essence from the flowers, and and enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because all paths lead to home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really is. So there is a point, I think, where, what I'm hearing is that there's sometimes that community task where we go outside first, and then we get like the foundational information to allow us to even find the way in, right? Because there is, yeah, her Akashic record stuff's crazy.
Yeah. Because before, when I was a child, I didn't, it really wasn't me. Like, because I had all these different abilities, because I am you and you are me, and every which direction we can go, big, small, like in depth, it's unlimited possibilities. So as a child, all I had to do was just show up at the right time and say the right thing, and my job was done.
Yeah.
So as an adult, as actually me, I had to have other people work on me to get me straight, get my will and my true self to walk that line.
I love it. So good. Got another question. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Guys, keep asking questions. This is the best part. We collectively think of good stuff together. Do you favor one of your gifts more than another? Oh, good question.
Nope.
Nope.
No, because I know that it is all me. And I've never been a favoritism kind of girl. I never liked one fruit over the other, because each characteristic of each fruit has its benefits. And it has, a watermelon can be so sweet and juicy, and you can get all that water from it, and which adds to your own sweetness. And then you can get a gritty pear, which, hey, some people don't like that grittiness, but when you bite into a pear and you got to pass that grittiness to get to the sweet goodness, it's just a reminder that sometimes we have to go through that rough patch.
Yeah.
Sometimes life is gritty. So do I favor one gift more than the other? No. No, because it's me. I love being able to speak to animals, and I love being able to make medicine, and I love being able to touch people, and I love being able to expand all the way up to source and all the way down into Gaia and every which direction. And I love being able to go into people and shrink down to a molecule. Like, I love them all.
Me too. Thanks, Tinks. You guys are here with Sarah today. Oh my gosh. The beautiful goddess that is, the intuitive healer, empathic queen. Oh my gosh. Earthkeeper, all the words, all the things, source to source, human.
Human.
And human and human. We've really spent the past couple minutes or so just kind of getting all these great questions. And so please feel free to her origin story is at the beginning of this. She's grateful enough to kick off this season. I really want to spend this last couple minutes of where people can find you, how they can get in contact with you. Definitely, we talked a little bit about the ceremonies. Maybe we can wrap around about any other social media links or anything like that you think might benefit. Talk about you.
I do have a page.
Yes.
Beauty is what beauty does. I'm always around in these groups, Messenger, more and more functions coming up I will be at. I'm making it one of my goals this year to, in person a lot more.
Yeah, I love it. Right, spontaneity.
Bringing the dragons home.
Yeah, that's such an important group. That work is so incredibly important.
Yeah. Yeah. The angels are even happy.
Right?
And they finally came down to earth here not too long ago, which was amazing.
Yeah, they made that choice. So proud of them.
Yeah.
I love it. That's amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for volunteering and being the first to kick off this season. I love and adore you so much, you guys. If you haven't had the opportunity to sit with Sarah and experience her, I highly recommend it. She has been the heartbeat of this movement for so long. And if you just are coming in and catching the last couple minutes, just do yourself a favor and come back and start from the beginning. I just love her origin story so much. I just love what you're doing, Sarah. I'm so grateful for you every day. I mean, I know we're going to be working together forever and sharing bonfires and all the good stuff, but it's been an absolute honor, truly. You're amazing.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
It was fun. I love it. All right, you guys, we're wrapping up on this hour. You know where to catch us. We've got the YouTube, the groups, we've got rando TikToks. We're all over the place. Check out our sister groups. We're working together and putting us kind of on one place. Maybe we'll come up with an app. Who knows? Sky's just a fake limit. So please feel free to connect if you're interested in being on the Soul Chat. You can just email me directly or Facebook message or whatever, the page, and we'll get out to that. Connect with Sarah, connect with Sarah, connect with Sarah. That's your homework. That's all we wrote. Till next time, my friends, thank you so much. You know where to find us. And this broadcast. Ending broadcast.